We're here to make fun of the Cleveland Browns. We're here to be on Shedeur Sanders' watch, Stefanski getting fired watch, and we're watching the Hawaiian Leprechaun throw hospital balls all over the field, making things look reckless here for the Browns offense. I thought it was going to be able to take the day off here, but more talking points came up. More clips, more news, more information, more insights came up that we got to cover, that we got to look at. Before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're on this side quest of making fun of the Cleveland Browns, just like everybody else. We're making fun of Dillon Gabriel. We're watching Shedeur Sanders when he's coming in, how this team working this quarterbacks. We're doing this every single day because for some reason they figure out how to give us some more news every single day. Click that button, stop missing out. And the big thing that's coming up here, the big concern here is Stefansky starting to turn heel on Dillon Gabriel.
If you're going to talk about his play, you should probably say more than, yes, there are some things that we like about what he's done, because the most telling part of all of this is, you know, when those moments arrive, he's got to let it rip.
Yeah, and we have not seen him let it rip, and clearly this is Stefanski being frustrated. I wondered at what point we would start to see Kevin Stefanski almost turn on Dillon Gabriel. That seems like that might have been the first crack of that discussion, though, Nick, because that was a I'm doing my job well, Dillon's not doing his.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there was even more. He was talking, it is another part of Kevin Stefanski from the coaches show yesterday, talking about how to get more vertical in the passing game.
As we do this week and during the bye week, you watch all these plays together, and you're kicking yourself because it's one thing here and then it's one thing there where it's just stopping you from hitting those shots. They're there, they will continue to be there, but we have to do our job. Again, it's not a player thing; it's an all of us thing. We have to do our job in terms of making sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be, and then we can start to hit these shots.
All right, so Kevin Stefanski's never going to come out and be like, guys, Dillon Gabriel, booty cheeks, I have made an alarming mistake. He gave you breadcrumbs, though. Yeah. And I think if you go with he's got to let it rip, and then you compare it to the plays are there, Kevin might be saying, well, it's 11 out of 11, right? It's on the coaches, too. He's clearly saying how to get more vertical is Dillon Gabriel letting it rip and making plays.
We want to see the deep shots. Stefanski wants to see the deep shots. You're not going to be seeing that with Dillon Gabriel unless something changes. Dillon Gabriel doesn't have a long leash here. He just doesn't. Shadur Sanders is a play away. Even though he's not getting the reps in practice, not getting opportunities, at least a series here and there with the ones, he's a play away. Their insurance policy is not being primed just in case.
Is that the part of his job and the idea here with the Browns where he needs to make sure that he wins a lot more of these press conferences than he doesn't, and he's got to make sure everyone knows that he can still do this job at a high level because this is quarterback 12. We're on an insanely high number of quarterbacks, and I've never heard him speak this way about a quarterback. Now, do you think Joe Flacco was missing guys deep? Because I'd argue that Joe Flacco wasn't really given a chance to throw the ball deep. So that's where this kind of is a little interesting.
Flacco was just missing him on the intermediate.
Yeah, well, but then also, like, if you did such a great job of scheming people open and you had all these deep shots, why didn't you let Flacco then take the deep shots? Because he went to Cincinnati and then instantly started throwing the ball deep.
Where I think it matters is I don't think Kevin's wrong. I think there are guys open. And in fairness, I think there were guys open with Joe Flacco. I just think I really do think Dillon's holding himself back. Now, the other question is, do you really want Dillon Gabriel, after what we saw this last week, to rip it and grip it?
Yeah, because the one time he did, he just threw it right into the defender's hands.
If you don't make the move to Shadur Sanders, Dillon Gabriel's going to make that move for you. You know what I'm saying. Dillon Gabriel's going to make that move for you, and he's going to tell you, hey, you got to put him in. Because enough is enough.
That was not we have to be better. That was Dillon, you have to be better.
Yeah, well, no, he does say we have to be better, and then Dillon just has to make the plays down the field.
It was Dillon has to be better.
Yeah.
There's no one else can be in charge of making Dillon Gabriel throw the ball down the field when as he said in the clip, he's scheming guys wide open down the field.
One half of the dynamic is when it comes to Shedeur, you have to start hearing them talk Shedeur up.
Yeah.
Right? Shedeur's looking great in practice. Shedeur's taking advantage of every rep that we do give him. Mm-hmm. You've started to hear that, by the way.
Yeah.
But the other thing was you need to hear, hey, the plays are there. Right? Dillon needs to go ahead and make these plays when they're there while also not turning the ball over. Well, we have heard that from Kevin Stefanski, including last night, but certainly on Monday and Sunday as well.
Yeah, I think this was important that Stefanski's putting this out there. I do think this shows, for the people that suggested that Dillon's going to have this extremely long leash, this would suggest otherwise. And it's just something we haven't heard from Kevin in a really long time, him talk about a quarterback this way. I think it's very important.
This Browns offense sucks, but it may not help Shadur Sanders. He's used to it at Colorado. He's used to being under fire. He's used to playing behind bad offensive line. He's used to that. He did not play at Oregon or Oklahoma, bringing in 4-star, 5-star talents left and right. When you're looking down the recruiting list at 24/7 Sports, the top 300, you're not seeing the Colorado team right there bringing in guys left and right. You got a 5-star there, Jordan Seaton. You got a few players there at 4-star with Colorado, but you do not have a ton of prospects like Oregon at the top, Oklahoma getting it mixed in there. You don't have that.
If you're trying to tell me which quarterback might be better suited to run this offense with all the issues they have, with Kevin Stefanski going to the podium after games and saying, we just got to be better, because he knows there's no easy fix. Like Chris alluded to, they're not fixing the offensive line in the season. They're not fixing the receiving core in the season, unless maybe they make a trade next week. But either way, like, there's no quick fixes for those things. So who's better equipped to handle that? Sure, Dillon has a lot of experience from college. But Shedeur, he operated in chaos and was still one of the most efficient quarterbacks in college football last year, still put up awesome numbers, and has proven to you that, like, when things go awry, he can make plays. I get why they're sticking with Dillon, the 4-game sample size and all that. Like, you can't.
You know why I'm smiling at you? You just told our whole audience that you believe Shadur Sanders makes everybody on his offense better. That's what you just said.
That's all to say. Like, to get back to the main point here, that's all to say. Like, we're on the same page with this.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a way where the offense shows maybe a little bit more life.
Dillon Gabriel played with that type of talent. He's not used to being under duress like this. A team that's burnt to hell. The Browns are burnt to hell. Shedur's used to this. Shadur might even come in, and once he gets acclimated, just start cooking. You'll never know. You never know what you'll have. You got 2 first-round picks in the chamber for the next year, and you're not seeing what you got in your rookies right now. You never put them under fire in training camp. You never elevated the competition when evidently it needed to be, and evidently we were right with that with Dillon Gabriel not being ready.
It's the Flacco trade. It's bringing in Flacco and Kenny Pickett, having the 4-way quarterback competition. Now I know Kenny Pickett wasn't taking up a ton of reps in camp because he hurt his hamstring. But you had a plan for 4 quarterbacks. 2 of them are gone, presumably because, mostly because you got draft picks for guys that you weren't going to use in the near or long-term future. That's great. But mostly because if you're trading those guys, that signals to me some level of confidence that Dillon Gabriel and or Shedeur Sanders are ready to do more than hold a clipboard, right? And we've seen with Dillon Gabriel so far, obviously there are other questions to ask Andrew Berry about the construction of the wide receiver room, which is the worst in the NFL by my estimation. And why didn't you spend at least 1 draft pick on the offensive line room when most of it is over 30 and most of it doesn't have guaranteed money or a contract on the books past this season? Those are separate questions. But Dillon Gabriel, you're by trading Kenny Pickett in the first place, you're signaling confidence that Dillon Gabriel, if need be, can start football games for you in the event that Joe Flacco gets hurt or plays poorly enough of the first 4 weeks, which is what happened, where you feel like you need to make a change. We haven't seen that bear up. And then Shadur Sanders, when you trade Joe Flacco, you're signaling sort of the same thing. Like, okay, we think Dillon's ready to maybe put a spark in the offense. And if something happens to Dillon, your backup's only 1 step away. We think Shadur can, be our break glass in case of emergency guy. For 4 weeks now, the offense has been listless. I don't know, maybe that's a little harsh criticism of the Minnesota game. 3 weeks at least, the offense has been listless. The pass game has been below pro level. And they're not even really thinking about it. Kevin Stefanski said before the bye, yeah, Dillon will be the starter after the bye. I just don't see how you can say that with such confidence. And I don't know how you can trade these 2 veteran starting quarterbacks with such confidence when clearly the rookies don't seem to be ready. Like, doesn't it feel like now would be the time to insert a Kenny Pickett or a Joe Flacco type presence into the offense? Doesn't it?
Shadur Sanders, you're scared to anoint him for some reason. You're scared to give him the reps. You're scared to give him opportunities. Like if Dillon Gabriel flatlines against the Jets after a whole bye week, it's cooked. It's done. It's done. This is a game against the Jets after the bye where the defense can go in cruise control and just cook. He just hands it off to Judkins, and they just get by like they did a couple games ago. The Jets shoot themselves in the foot, maybe some turnovers. There you go. You get a W. If you can't manage that, it's time to bring in Shedeur. For me, it's time now. Like a full bye week. You let them rock it with the ones. Let them get all the opportunity. Prime them up. Let's go. If it's not working with the Jets game, you got a whole rest of the season. See what you got with Shedeur before you make that decision with your first-round picks. Because if you're going to burn those first-round picks anyways and do this injustice when you got a day 3 pick here that was projected to be a first-rounder, top-end first-rounder by almost everybody before he fell. By almost everybody. You got him on a day 3 contract. You got an elite defense. You got your young running back. 2 first-round picks combined with him right now. You're talking about a built team. You're talking about built team. Because you can get the offensive line. You can get a pass catcher. Now you got free agency. You can move around those picks. You can make some other moves. Now you're good to go. Now you're good to go. Nobody before the draft was saying Dillon Gabriel was better than Shedeur. Nobody was saying this before the draft. We saw what happened. We gave the Browns their grace. Round 3 guy, round 5 guy. And then round 3 guy started to look like a round 5, round 6, round 7 guy in OTAs and minicamp. And we're like, okay, Shedeur killing it, looking like a round 1 guy playing with practice squad guys. Then you get to training camp. Your round 3 guy looks like a late round guy again. While your round 5 guy looks like a round 1 guy and the opportunities you're giving him. Now, they both get banged up in training camp. Shedeur has that Carolina game in preseason that looks good. That Rams game where it does not look so good, but in context, you're like, it's kind of incomplete. You want to see more. Why did you not keep him out there? Why did you not do that? While Dillon Gabriel gets to play on script, does not stay out there longer to get off script. Now when we see him off script, what do we see? Safeties out of the back of the end zone, comedic plays, like we can make fun of him all day long. You go to Twitter after the game, just everybody just making fun of him due to his bad play. No other quarterback in the league's getting that. He's proven not to be an NFL talent at this point. He's proven that. And now we're looking at this. We're going into week 9 and we're on bye. Something's got to happen. If you can't make it happen after extra practice on bye, after extra rest, extra prep, and you got this Jets matchup that's softer compared to a lot of others, it's time to make the change. The time's now. The time's now, really. For me, the time's now. For you, the time's now. Common sense says time's now. Common sense was to open things up in training camp after the debacle and OTAs and minicamp. After that, like once that started run up again in training camp, we saw enough. Now you're jamming this round peg in the square hole. Now you're just doing that. We saw enough. Just stop the charades here. Like, why is this continuing? Like, why? Why is this continuing? Like, there's no innovation. Obviously, there's no plan for development. Why did you make the pick if there was going to be no plan for development? Why are you keeping Stefanski there if you evidently see there's no plan for development? Why keep him around if the plan for development has been so rotten to this point and you're looking to draft another quarterback anyways? Why do that? Why not give somebody else on the staff a shot to prove themselves, the shot to give themselves some tape or whatever for other coaching positions? Like Stefanski had a quarterback fall to him round 5. He had a blessing fall to him in round 5. Like, this could have been the blessing that kept your job, that kept you alive here. here in Cleveland that turned this place around. Like, this could have been it for you, dude. This could have been it because we got to watch the practices here. This is the only place where you get to watch all the practices, minicamp, OTAs, and training. This is the only team that does this. This team doesn't have anything else but let the beat writers cook in the offseason. Like, Browns fans, you hate your beat writers, and I understand they say stupid shit, but they also allow filming here. You don't get this with other teams. You don't get this. I cover practice clips pretty much for a living. That's how we got here. I cover practice clips. I'm going to tell you this, that some teams, it's like pulling teeth to get practice clips from. Like, just to get one video out of the summer, I can literally do a Browns video every day. Like, your media is good for your team here in one way of giving you content. You may not like the content, but you at least get it. But the thing about this is one perspective, and this perspective just hit me. Stefanski, this team was blessed with a quarterback projected to be a first rounded that goes in round 5. They look at him, they don't appreciate it. They don't appreciate it. I don't need to say the name. Guy was projected to be a first rounder, falls around 5, day 3 contract. You got 2 first round picks in the chamber. You do not appreciate it enough to open up for development in your practices over the summer. Now we're here. And we already know the writing's on the wall. Like, Stefanski's gone. He's gone. You got 2 first-round picks next year. Doesn't mean they're going to go quarterback. But writing's probably on the wall. What word's coming out weird today? My mouth is dry. This is my 6th video. This is like my 6th video today. Maybe more than that when you count other platforms. But this was a blessing. A blessing that they got. They did not appreciate it. So, of course, things are going to run bad for them. Because they did not work hard in the developmental process of these 2 young quarterbacks. Both of them. They're also doing Gabriel a disservice. Like, I don't hate Gabriel. I just like making fun of him. And they also did him a disservice. Like, there's some good things in his prospect profile that lends notion he's going to be a good backup quarterback for years. But the competition with Shedeur would have been great for him. Like, opening that up. Like, maybe we see them come in back and forth throughout training camp in these practices, opening that up, being more aggressive with it. Some of these practices being a little bit longer. Some of these practices where you can tell, like, they really managed the reps and development of these 2 kids. They didn't. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.